Hello, and welcome to this CHA Extracurricular podcast. I'm your host, Chris Keller, and I'm excited to have our athletic director, Nancy Castillo, as our first guest in the studio. Coach Castillo, say hello to all the fine folks out there in podcast land.
Hi, all you knights in podcast lands. Great to see you. Good to be here today.
All right, we're glad to have you. We're going to be talking about Christian Heritage Academy athletics. I am excited. For one, I'm excited to be coming back to school in just a short time. I'm a teacher, so of course I get excited at the beginning of the school year. It's just full of energy. I can't wait to get back in the classroom. But I know that's not always the first thing on our students' minds. However, many of our students do look forward to coming back to school because that means coming back to the court, the field, and the track. Coach Castillo, would you do me a favor and make the case for why athletics is important for our students?
Absolutely. That's interesting. It's easy to make a case for students to participate in athletics. The obvious physical reasons are that athletes have stronger bones and muscles than non-athletes. Working out properly keeps their weight under control, and it keeps them heart healthy. Students who participate in sports learn a healthy way to manage stress. They learn skills that will help them adapt to high-pressure situations, and they learn perseverance. Athletes form social bonds and skills they'll need for life. Sports require teamwork, cooperation, compromise. Our students can develop grit and determination. Not to mention, sports are fun, and athletes tend to make stronger students as well.
Yes, I love that. I love the idea of making well-rounded students. We don't want them to just be strong in the classroom. We want them to be strong physically and on the court and with their teammates and all of those things. That's excellent. So now that I've got you here in this room and I can just sit down and ask you whatever questions come to mind, I've been wanting to ask you this for a while. What exactly led to you becoming the athletic director here at CHA? What was your journey to get here?
Well, I was in public school for 31 years after graduating from Emory and Henry College. Go Wasps! I was involved there with coaching and at Ferrum College as well. And after 31 years, decided that I had decided not to do that anymore, and rode around in a driver's ed car for about a year and a half or so, when I got a call from Coach Williams, Christy Williams, who was one of my former players at Franklin County. And she said, "Hey, CHA is looking for an athletic director, and why don't you come in and talk to Mr. Quist?" So I did. The rest is history.
Yes, and we're so thankful to have you here. And I want to call out just the foresight and the planning of Mr. Quist and his ability to see the need to level up our athletic program and to bring you in. You bring so many talents and skills, and we're glad to have you here developing this program. And personally, I'm thankful to have you as a coworker. You've helped me out in so many different times and different occasions with just mundane tasks like wrapping cables for Ignite. So even though I've only been involved to a small degree in athletics, I'm still glad to have you on board here.
Oh, you're one of our coaches. Don't think you're ever going to get out of that. And you're correct. Mr. Quist's vision for our school, including the athletic department, is just tremendous. So after hearing his desire to build an athletic program from the bottom up, it was easy to get on board with that.
Yeah, and speaking of that, that's perfect. I want to ask you about the new kind of, maybe not new, but purposeful philosophy of CHA athletics. I know that you have been working on that with the administration over at least the past year, and I'd love to hear a little bit about that athletic philosophy.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's always been, and you can see this posted in the gym when you walk into the castle, but we've always been determined to have conditioned athletes, cooperative teammates, and competitive sportsmen in our athletic program. This year we have a new strategic objective, though, which is to cultivate ambition, grit, achievement, and resilience in the character of our student athletes by stewarding an athletic program that is intensely competitive and provides a pathway to next level play for our graduates. And we've seen the fruit of that labor this year already.
Yeah, I love that. I love having that direction, that goal kind of in front of us. And it is a lofty goal, but I think we've got the right person for the job here to lead us on the way. And that's you.
Thank you. That's kind.
Well, also, as the athletic director, you have a unique perspective on sports at CHA. You don't get the good fortune of just being honed into one sport. You have to think about all of these things going on, all of the athletes, coaches, scheduling, all of that sort of stuff, important stuff that we're so glad you do for us. So, from your perspective, would you just give us a picture of CHA sports, particularly this fall?
Well, sure, absolutely. From the perspective of the associate director of athletics, I have to look at a student who would be ready to graduate from CHA as an athlete, and who might want to pursue that after high school, and then go back and look at them as a second grader and try to figure out what it would take to get them from elementary school all the way through their high school senior year, and have them prepared with us giving all the opportunities that we can give and encouraging them, so we're equipping them to go out and face that next challenge to play in college. So everything from nights in training through our middle school and intramural programs, through JV and varsity programs, it's all on the radar.
Yes, I love that too, and I love how it's you are a planner, right? You plan these schedules, you plan these teams, and all of these different elements, but it's beyond that. You're planning the path that these students can follow and find success. And I think maybe we don't, as coaches or even as teachers or faculty, we maybe don't think about your job in that respect, that you are giving them a path to go from second grade all the way to graduation through athletics. And that's just awesome. Thank you for all the work you do there. Also, is there anything in particular that you might be very excited about this fall in the athletics department?
Well, Coach Keller, I don't know if you have Facebook or not, but our athletes all summer long have been working out. They've been playing basketball. They've been going to volleyball skills training camps. They've been running. They've been doing track camps, participating in the Commonwealth Games. There's just all kinds of excitement already for the upcoming school year. So we're going to do some soccer skills training this summer. We have volleyball, varsity and middle school volleyball, who are getting ready to play before school even starts. So we'll be starting August, soon, next month. With that, and our intramural volleyball program will be well underway. Well, the first day of school, they're going to practice. So I'm really excited about cross country. You know, we had some state champions on our middle school cross country team this past year. So really looking forward to the fall.
All right. Now, this is a little off the cuff, but I have been on Facebook, and I have been seeing a lot of our students, pictures of them at different camps throughout different universities, different colleges, different places.
Yeah.
And I wonder if maybe you could just, I'm got you on your toes here, but what is like a benefit if you were going to try to encourage parents to get their kids into a camp somewhere else? What would you think is maybe one of the benefits of being in that camp? And then maybe not being with your typical coach or typical teammate. What are just some of the benefits of camps versus, well, they go to practice during the season. Isn't that good enough? You know, speak to that for just a moment, if you would.
Sure, absolutely. I was fortunate enough to be a college coach in Ferrum for 7 years at the college there. And it was always, for a college coach, it was always so beneficial to have well-rounded athletes that had gone to learn from other people. Instead of just having one coach throughout high school, if you go to the University of Tennessee, or you go to UVA to a basketball camp, or you go to Tech, or you go to skills training somewhere else, you should hear maybe a different way a coach would explain the same thing that your school coach is trying to explain, and it may click with you when you hear it from another person. Plus, it gives you opportunities to stay in your game, stay focused, and work out around other people. Sometimes it's a lot easier to have that support from other people working out with you to hone your skill.
Yeah, so I love that too.
Yeah, you can learn a lot.
Yeah, definitely. It makes me think about even teaching that in the history program here, you have myself, but also Mrs. Rutraw, and the students get to alternate between us each year, so they're not stuck just learning what Mr. Keller thinks every year. They get to hear another perspective on history, and it's so important, and I can see that in athletics as well. Thank you for sharing about that.
Sure, and if I could interject one more thing with that, a lot of our students are off to pursue colleges. Now, they're thinking about that more and more, and one of the first things they need to do is to look. do you want to go to a huge school? Or do you want a smaller environment? And a great way for athletes and everybody, not just athletes, all of our students throughout the summers to go visit some colleges.
Definitely.
And see what's there.
That's right. Kind of get your toe in the water and see what that's all about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Well, as we wrap up here, I know we have a few announcements to share. For one, folks, I don't know if you've heard any extra noises in the background, but I know there's some hammering going on out in the gym right now. Miss Castillo, what's that all about?
Mr. Keller, we've got a couple of pretty big announcements. In our parent meeting that we had last week for fall sports, I was able to let everyone know that there's a very kind and generous family who has donated enough money for us to purchase a minibus for our athletes and our school, not just athletics. So in addition to that, another very kind and generous person has donated enough money for some new equipment for volleyball, and you're going to see some exciting new things in the gym. So another generous person is out in the gym right now helping to build some storage rooms out there so we can put some new equipment you're going to have to come and see at our first volleyball match.
All right, we're so excited about that. And as you continue to mention, we're just so blessed to have so many generous people as a part of our CHA community. It's just wonderful to see the support we get. And I tell you what, I saw that minibus when I rolled up in the parking lot, and that thing looks pretty awesome. I'll look forward to getting my first ride on that bus.
The generosity of the families here is incredible, incredibly supportive.
You're exactly right. Let's see here. I know you've got a few other things to share, different changes coming up for folks to be aware of.
We're pretty excited that the athletic department is going to be sponsoring a club this year for our students. And it's not just for athletes. This is for other folks who have an interest in athletics. And we're going to kind of piggyback on some of your awesome things, Mr. Keller, that you're doing.
Oh, looking forward to it.
Yeah, with some of this technology and some live streaming. We're going to get some of our students involved in doing announcements, having music rolling at our events, just upping the game day experience for everybody.
Yes, we know everybody wants to be out here and cheer on these athletes and be a part of just that kind of atmosphere that we have here, the energy, the excitement. And we've got some things that folks can be involved in, especially as you mentioned on the tech side. So if you have any, if you know of any students who might be interested in that out there in a podcast land, or if you know of any parents who might be interested in helping out with different technical things, announcements, running sound, things of that nature, or if you've got some tips for this here junior podcaster, different strategies or anything like that, we're open to help and suggestions, and we would love to hear from you. All right, now how about we've got some other changes coming up with tickets and admissions and different things of that nature.
Yes, our admission to contests and matches inside the gym and outside across country will be changing for this year at all. First of all, our students and staff will still continue to get into our contests free of charge. Also, any other kids who come who are under the age of 5 will still continue to get in free of charge. Each athlete during his or her competitive season will receive a couple of tickets for his or her parents to be able to still come to contests free of charge, but then all of their other ticket prices will be $5 for everyone.
That sounds good. Well, thank you, Miss Castillo. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you all for being here and listening to our first episode of this extracurricular podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Thank you again, Coach Castillo, for being willing to come and talk with us today. I look forward to an exciting fall season of sports here at Christian Heritage Academy. And Nancy, I look forward to having you on the podcast again in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach Keller. It was great to be invited to do this today, and it's just another tremendous thing you do for our athletes and students here at CHA.
Oh, well, thank you. You are so very kind. Well, folks, with that, may we be united as one, and go Knights!